Now,
This meeting is being recorded.
you can kind of read through that a little bit yourself if you'd like. And it pretty much follows what we would expect a treasurer to do. It's a pretty important position because they're looking at our budget and trying to keep us on track. So moving back.
I said I couldn't hear it. The
We have
sound
our
must
two
be on there.
candidates, and we will begin.
I just heard someone say something.
Well, it should be turned. You turn it up
To the highest. Let me see. Got it. Let me see.
We'll give them a minute to fix it.
Them.
Carol,
Okay.
can you?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Debera can speak. And then Gretchen, would you follow immediately after? I won't stop for introduction at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And okay. Is Debera here? I can't see all the people that are logged in.
Good afternoon. Faye Wilcox, son.
Is Debera Cole-Jones present to speak to us?
I don't see Debera on here.
Okay. Gretchen, we'll let you go and then we'll come back and see if Debera logs in a few minutes after you get started. So, Gretchen.
Carol, I'd like to share my screen. It says I can't share while somebody else is sharing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to shut my sharing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm trying to find the button for you. There it is. The red one always helps. Okay. And I will mute my.
Okay. So my name is Gretchen Lampe, and I live in Asheville, and I'm a member of the Asheville-Buncombe County Retired Personnel Association. My belief statement is members pay dues money because they want to see us accomplish our goals, vision, and mission, as we have stated in our documents. The treasurer's fiduciary responsibility is to make sure that that budget that we adopt meets those goals and tries to fund them so that we do have our mission fulfilled. We also have a fiduciary responsibility to see how the expenditures are going. That's the reason we have financial reports. We need to make sure that we are expending our budget in the manner that we said and that it reflects the priorities. So that is my goal. A lot of people ask, how did you end up back here? Because you've worked in 6 states, 4 of them, and 4 urban communities. And so I just wanted to tell you this much about me. I'm an Appalachian by blood. you will notice that this is my mom at the bottom of the screen with her brothers and sisters in Horsepen Cove, Virginia. That's where my family comes from. You'll see me at my grandma's house with that fancy fur muff I got. And I graduated from Bristol, Tennessee High School. So living in Asheville, I'm only 1 hour and 15 minutes away from my hometown. I taught school in both Virginia and Tennessee and was active in my association as both vice president and president. And I got involved in association work as a staff person because Governor Lamar Alexander passed the Career Letter Act in Tennessee back in 1985. And I was determined to increase my advocacy for the teaching profession because this was all about testing and paying teachers based on merit. And we all know that teaching is a collaborative profession. You will see my friends Janet, Doris, and I. We're sending that to our friend Carol. We've been friends for 50 years, and Carol will be at the assembly if you want to know all the dirty details of my background. My staff work experience is what's really prepared me to be treasurer. The upper picture shows the Kentucky retired staff. At the Kentucky Education Association, Charlie, ma'am?
We can't see anything. Are you sharing?
Yeah.
We can't see it.
That's okay.
Green button and then.
Oh, share. Wait a minute. Can you see it now?
No.
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 Gretchen, you may want to go on because you've got 1 minute remaining.
Okay.
Oh, here it's coming.
Now can you see?
Yes.
Be okay?
Yes.
1 minute? Do I get my minutes now? Okay. This is what I was just saying, that the members pay dues money because they want us to accomplish the mission and goals as stated in our association documents. Is to make sure that the retirement system stays secure, the health insurance plan that covers them will remain in place and offer them what they need. So we must make sure that the budget supports the activities that will achieve those goals in our mission. And that's part of the fiduciary responsibility of the treasurer to make sure that budget reflects those goals. The other thing that the treasurer must do is look at the expenditures and give out the financial reports, because the expenditures tell us if we're spending the money in the budget plan, and that's what a budget is. It's a plan, and we're making sure that our plan is being accomplished. My background is that I've lived, I've gone all over, and people say, well, how come you've lived so many different places? And I tell I either am in witness protection or I can't keep a job. But to tell you the truth, the reason I've traveled so much is my background, though, is here in the mountains of Appalachia. My mama's picture of her family is down there on the bottom left side. My mother was raised in the mountains of Southwest Virginia, as was my daddy. And Mama was raised up on Horsepen Cove. That's me at Christmas time at my grandmama's house, sporting that little furry muff there. You will see a picture of the people that I worked with in Kentucky and Indiana and North Carolina and South Carolina and all those, Louisiana. Problem is that this is where I learned how to do the treasurer's job. Charlie Weiss in the blue hat was the executive director. I was the UNICEF director in the Louisville area and wanted to become the research person. And he said, no, I want you to stay as UNICEF. I don't think you can do the research job. So I arbitrated and got the job. I was on the job for one day when they presented me with what was called a Trash 80 interview in computers. No, that's an old computer that had something called Lotus 123 on it. And lo and behold, they said, at the end of the week, we want you to project what every school district in the state of Kentucky will receive from the state this year. Well, what was
Gretchen, time.
time?
I'm sorry, it's time.
Okay. I will be sending out the flyer that has the information on it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You're muted.
Unmute, LaVeta.
I got it. Sorry about that. All of this technology is wonderful when we can operate it. Our candidates for secretary are Vivian, Melvin, Salas or Salas. I'm not sure how she pronounces that. So Vivian, I apologize if I mispronounced it, and Julia Thorn. And we have here the from the bylaws again, the responsibilities to be carried out by the secretary. So we will have Vivian speak first, and then Julia, you may jump in as soon as she has finished, just as we have set out before. So I'm going to stop sharing, and
You can leave that there.
oh, okay. I can put it back up. Whoop. Wrong one.
Well, I'll go ahead and start if that's all right, while she's bringing that up. And I just want to state a few words: integrity, professionalism, independent, hardworking, experience, no drama, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. I'm Vivian Melvin Salas, and I'm a candidate for the position of NCRSP Secretary. I greatly appreciate the quality of life for providing this opportunity for us to speak with you, and I especially want to thank all of you who took your time to attend. NCRSP Secretary. Our bylaws, which you see right there, stated on the screen, thank you so much, LaVeta, have three major responsibilities. So let me just hit those first. The first one, and I'm not going to read it verbatim because you can see it, keeping attendance and records minutes of all administrative council and exec board. Fact. I am an experienced, organized, and a reliable administrative support. I've been an NCRSP secretary since August 2022, and as some of you know, prior to that, I was the Region 6A secretary. I still have some of their meetings, Region 6A meeting notes and data on my computer. So do I record? Do I keep attendance? Fact, I do. The next one, I'm not going to read it completely because it's on the screen, is responsible for proper distribution of minutes. Fact. I consistently meet organization deadlines and distribution of minutes and other materials and information if I'm requested. I go beyond because I'm concerned about my colleagues, and I take additional steps to notify them in advance that those minutes or information have been sent out. This simple step of sending a quick text alert helps to keep everybody informed and helps to prevent the stress of searching through emails because you don't know when something came. So fact, I distribute in a timely manner, and I haven't missed a meeting except 2 hours in the hospital, but haven't missed meetings going out. 3 is responsible for maintaining records of NCRSP during their years in office. After each meeting, I immediately send to NCRSP staff the minutes that have been revised, approved, so that they can be recorded and put in the archives by the staff. I also keep those on my computer. So fact, once again, mission accomplished. That would be so nice if I could just stop here and say, vote for me. But we all know that a secretary has to possess many skills to perform the 3 that have laid out by the bylaws. In every leadership role I've had, I've demonstrated my ability to learn, to grow, and to adapt to any changing circumstances and changing needs of the people I serve. And like you, I serve. I plan to keep serving and keep growing to do the best job I can for you, as we all do what we can to support education and advocate for education. Verbal and communication skills are essential to this role. As a published author and a former teacher, I realize information has to be clearly summarized and written in a way that all can understand. I use technology, my technological skills, and I even go to my colleagues who have been wonderful in supporting and helping with editing and revising. It's team effort, all in this together to do the best we can for the best product. As a matter of fact, I strive for, that helps me. My granddaddy used to say, humans are not perfect. That's why God gave us brains to create erasers, which is why sometimes I go to my colleagues, hey, look this over for me. I think half of you got a flyer from me. Please read that flyer. Half of you got a flyer that had 2 typos on it, and the other half got the corrected revision. As Oprah would say, if you want to know better, do better. So thank God for giving us those brains for erasers. When I became, I didn't know how I was going to slide that in. Y'all let me know later how I did with it. When I became the NCRSP secretary, I thought I knew something about Robert's Rules of Order. And I did know something about Robert's Rules of Order, but it was nowhere near what I know now. So I really appreciate just the growth in my own knowledge base that I apply to support you. The creator of Robert's Rules of Order would have loved Detective Joe Friday, who we attribute the saying, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Because according to Robert's rules, I strive to stay close to that and state just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. But of course, we need to not always follow exactly rules, but try to create products that suit the organization or the group of people we serve. So I listen carefully, and I have been over the last year and a half listening to learn more about the group that I'm with and produce minutes of integrity that address their needs and what this group needs to know. I try to eliminate any excessive details, avoid citing names, no personal opinions, no verbal exchanges, things like that, but add just enough detail for the group, whichever group it is, to go back and be reminded of the topics they addressed. I would like to express my sincere appreciation, and I'm going to leave the way I came in by stating integrity, professionalism, independent, hardworking, experience, no drama, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Vote for me for secretary for NCRSP.
Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, all of you.
Miss LaVeta, before I begin, I'd like to confirm that everyone could see my screen that I'm sharing.
Can't
No.
see it yet.
Oh,
There we go.
Thank you. And I trust that the timer won't start until I begin speaking. The timer won't start until I begin speaking. I'm keeping track of my time too. Is that all right, Miss LaVeta?
You're fine. You're fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, and thanks for tuning in. When asked, Julia Yamaoka Thorn, why are you running for secretary? My answer is a 21st century duty to the Constitution. I am ready, willing, and IT equipped as demonstrated to meet any admin council approval for transparency, including use of websites, social media, and GMAS. And we all know that cheaper, faster streaming comms can aid us in our mission. My candidacy shows my high regard for teamwork, transparency, and documentation. Beyond just the facts, let's share the facts with all NCRSP members. Much more achievement might be the result of such professionalism. Moreover, shared information gives accountability and helps us NCRSP brothers and sisters work together. If you give me a chance, I would like to serve all of NCRSP as secretary in a robust capacity. If allowed, I will consider it part of my job to be the council and board's clerical donkey for record keeping, correspondence, and communications, all hyperlinked for fact checking. If allowed and asked, my job will be to help our leaders with professional looking writing products for public interface. If allowed, my job will be the website and to share business matters, both public and password protected versions, and keep the web navigable and timely. The website I made for you did not cost the IT going rate of $7,550 for just the first 40 hours and payment of subscriptions. I did it all at a cost of $12 a year. This is because even after I was a paralegal for 2 high-volume law firms, and even after I turned age 70, I didn't stop with just those past accomplishments. I continue to expand my secretarial skills. I seek technological solutions, which should be the part of any secretary's skill set, to help her organization succeed in a competitive, flattening world. We must learn so that we will not be exploited by IT experts who charge $90 an hour. If we retirees do not stay ahead of technology, technology will exploit us retirees. If allowed, I will consider it part of my job to share technology with you. I want us to be IT victors, not IT victims. Your email copy of my accomplishments and successes give you, the voter, evidence of how I get jobs done without my having to read them aloud in a manner that has found approval of some significance. However, more ideas to save time, money, and labor fill my head. I don't think you've seen the extent of my abilities. If you elect me, you'll be glad you did, because I am driven to help in our noble fight, the struggle for public education and for the very well-being and quality of life of all men and women who raised up, taught, fed, bused, nurtured, and cleaned up after the youth of our beloved state, the North Carolina retired school personnel. We must have a secretary with 21st century clerical skills to execute her job beyond the 2 dimensions of the past and into the 3-dimension realities of 2024. I want to help us all execute the best plans upon the General Assembly, and for all of us, including myself, to better understand and support the nature of the battle and the work of all the men and women in NCRSP who work towards our NCRSP mission and not somebody else's. I value documentation. Just think, if you elect me, you own all my creativity, my energy, and my passion, and my digital skills, and you could correct me when I get facts wrong, because I put my information out there to be corrected. Please vote for Julia Yamaoka Thorn for NCRSP Secretary, because retirees deserve better. Thank you for your time, and may the Lord bless you and our beloved NCRSP. Come along with me. Vote Julia for NCRSP. The best is yet to be. Thank you.
Thank you to both of our candidates for secretary. As soon as Julia shuts down her share, I'll
Yes, ma'am.
have to remember to unmute. Sorry about that. As I was saying, thank you to Julia and Vivian for sharing their rationale for soliciting your votes. And now we have our vice president who is running unopposed, so to speak, or to speak to and address this group. And these are the duties that are covered by the vice president by the bylaws. And again, they are fairly extensive, and I'll be happy to share those with anyone who would like a copy of that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lena.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to share a screen. Okay. If I can find it. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on for a second. I'm going to share that screen. I am Lena Murrill-Chapman. I am honored to be a candidate for the vice president of the North Carolina's retired school personnel for the second term. This esteemed organization needs a leader who is both willing and able to help move our mission to a level of organized pride. Over the past year, as a member and a leader, we have accomplished so much. We have worked tirelessly to implement our strategic plan. It has made our organization stronger by providing a vehicle for which we all can give the proper leadership. We have had some challenges, but have overcome them with determination and perseverance. My desire is to use my training and skills in working side by side to help build an organization that we all desire. Our members are our mission. If re-elected, I promise to continue to work hard to make our organization the best it can be. I get excited when members express their concerns, their ideas, and recommendations, and I will do all that I can to not only be a great listener, but to help provide the necessary vehicle to reach our goals. As Vice President, I attend the meetings of the state standing committees. I am here to help support the needs of the members. I will continue to be present at any of the call meetings when necessary, because my belief is together we can. I am a graduate of Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina, with a bachelor's degree in library science and an intermediate education, a concentration in language arts and social studies. I earned my master's degree in instructional media library science from North Carolina A&T State University. Is there another one? I completed my leadership certification from the Center for Creative Leadership in Greensboro, North Carolina, and Leadership Development Program at Yale University. I ask that you vote to re-elect Lena Murrill-Chapman as Vice President of this wonderful organization. Thank you for listening.
And thank you, Lena.
Welcome.
She's in the enviable position of being running unopposed, but it was nice to hear your comments today. Now we're moving on to our candidates for president. And our candidates for president are Linda Gunter and Tom Simmons. And as you can see by the bylaws, the duties of the president are quite extensive, but this is a very important position to our organization because they direct and guide us in our journey to move forward and look out and advocate for our fellow retirees. So I will stop sharing. So if Linda would like to share, she can share the screen and we can move forward.
Thank you. I'm Linda Gunter and I'm your president. Let's see, so they can see it. Okay. I'm your president. It's an honor to run for re-election because I'm running because I feel like the job is not done. When I came in, we had a lot of things to do. We've accomplished a lot, but there is much more. And I feel like that I'm qualified to handle that. With every experience in your life, it prepares you for the future. And these are some of the things that I have participated in. And each one has built on the other. And my work for NCAE also really helped. And then my service as a senator as well. So all these experiences built and given me, I think, the skills that other people don't have. As a result, I have these past NCAE presidents that are supporting me in this journey. And they have been with me from the very beginning when I first ran for vice president and last time when I was running for president. In addition, I have members of the board that have committed their support to me. I have the only three, I think, living past presidents of NCRSP support me, as well as these members of the convention committee. So let's look at my experience, and I'm going to kind of go through it quickly. I did go to college. I graduated from High Point College, which is now a university. I kind of left that out, but I went to Cary High School, and so I moved here when I was like 15. I went to Cary High School. I came back, and I taught there for 30 years. So I'm pretty stable in the same place. But I taught government and social studies, and that's what really helped me in getting legislators to come to my classroom. Because of Karen Garr, I was on the NCAE, Wake County NCAE team. I was a political action rep at my school, and they encouraged me to go to my first precinct meeting, which led to me eventually running for office. During the time that I was teaching, I ran in 1993-94. I ran in 1992, which was the year of the woman. At that time, it was redistricted, and I had the part outside of the Beltline, which was supposed to go to a Republican. But I was able to convince them to vote for me, and I was the second woman from Wake County elected. Got 7 bills passed. I got an award from NCAE for my 100% voting record, and then also got an award from the Learning Disabilities Association. So there's my picture from back then. I guess you recognize me. Then when I retired, I went to work with Wake NCAE, and I was a UniServ. So I learned that work as well. Won 7 of our cases for our members as a UniServ up there in Granville County. Then I switched over to become a government relations specialist. So all the political stuff that we do, that's what I really love, and I have a lot of knowledge. I handled all the endorsements. I was a lobbyist in the General Assembly. I ran the PAC booth at the convention and built the LCTs, the legislative contact teams, which Colleen is kind of doing now. That was one of our emphasis. And then the Apple Card that you see, I just did one of the more recent ones. I'm kind of the mother of the Apple Card. I discovered that at a conference and brought it home. And at first NCAE didn't think it was worth doing. And then the next year I finally convinced them. And now even today, people love the Apple Card and feel like it really makes a difference with our candidates. I also have the most experience with NCRSP. I've been local president. I was vice president for 4 years, and now I've been president as of the end of June will be 2 years. And we have, I can run for 1 more term, so that's why I'm running. I had my goals, and I feel like that I've accomplished my goals, except kind of in the area of membership, which I'm going to be touching on later. So I think the whole thing is you got to set your goals, and I was really trying to push to make sure that we accomplish our goals. There was the old design of the newspaper, and I know Ginger Sermon and I looked at that. You know, we wanted to do something, but the staff was doing it. It was black and white. It cost more. Sometimes there were blank pages that we were paying for. And so I got Gretchen as the communications committee chair, and we worked with the publisher, and that's why you have the colored version. With 16 pages, the masthead was changed. And then I have people who are critical and they say, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. I don't see how you can do too much, because we were really trying to bring ourselves out of the dark ages, because members out there, they're in the community and they're sharing those newsletters and they're comparing the ones with State Employees Association, the retired government workers. And so we have to have something that was better than what we had before. The team works on it, and I work with the team in the communications committee. And so they do the layout and everything else. So it's done by the members and not done by the staff. That's why you have this beautiful, the one on the right, I just took a picture of. The one on the left is a screenshot. So you have these great looking newsletters that can really be impressive. So then the thing was the website. I remember Joan Bass talking about the website. She was going to get it done. Willie was going to everybody was going to get it done, but we couldn't seem to do it. We started with a committee in June. We made edits. We came up with a list of things that needed to be done, but it just wasn't happening. We finally actually met with the webmaster. We found out the software was old, the site was about to crash, and that the improvements that we were asking just before the convention would cost about $1,200. And then we'd have to start all over for $1,800. And so thank goodness Julia, behind the scenes, she had the initiative to start working on this Google website. And so she put the whole thing together. I did advise her. I sometimes sent her information, but she's very creative and she would always reach out. She looked at stuff on the other website, and it was a seamless transition from the old website to this one. The same lists that were on the other website are on this one. So nothing was taken away. There was no way that we were trying to hold stuff back from anybody. So what we did as a result of all this in the last 2 years, we have membership tools. When you have somebody that's interested in joining the association, we have the 10 reasons that we put together at a membership retreat. We have the membership brochure, the first new one in about 12 years. John Hoffman was in there and he passed away in the old one. The panorama, we have that, and we have the website. So you can show people that, you can send the links, and then they say, hey, this is a really great organization. They've got a lot of stuff going on. But then some people say, we're doing too many things at one time. But, you know, you got to work with different things. So you just turn and you do something else and you get responsible people to take care of it. So we do fundraising. We do fundraising for the foundation. And actually, this number jumped up to about 33,000. NCRSP gave more money to the foundation than any other organization in the state. And that's just remarkable because we're all retirees. But together, look at what we can accomplish to support this great, basically our charitable arm of NCRSP. And then the PAC. So we're on the third year of PAC. Last year, we would have met our goal of 19,000, of 20,000, but we had a couple of people that passed away before the checks were actually cashed at the NCAE office. And so we collected 9,700. But our goal this year is 25,000. I heard about over $3,000 is going into the office, like it was in the mail today. So we know, the first place last year was Region 5. Of course, I'm proud of Region 5. The second one was 6A, and then you got 3 and 1B. But we all did a really great job, and we'll be there at the convention. But we have everything during the month of March that we can get 100% of the money. The next thing is, you know, you're always concerned about supplements, COLAs and everything. COLAs are hard to get these days. And this year we heard this morning there wasn't much money in the budget. But when we look back and we looked at the last 3 years, we actually got 10% in supplements. You know, we got it in 2, and then we got 3, and we got 1, and then we got 4. So when you get it like that, we had never really added it together. But when you look at my COLA chart, and I have this COLA chart that I'm still working on to finish to distribute, then you say, boom, it's like 10%. We've never got that much in 3 years. So we'll just see what we can do. I've already talked to the other organization, and we're going to go for 2% COLA, and we'll just have to see. But we're going to have to see. The money might not be there. Colleen and I both volunteered to be lobbyists. I have lobbying experience. We registered, and you know, we go down there and we talk to people. We had a Zoom call this morning with one of the senators. So we do this, and we always say, if we don't speak up for ourselves, no one will. And they really seem to like it that we're volunteer lobbyists, and we try to be positive, and we want our members to be positive. And they'll always talk about the other group that kind of sends hateful email, and you know, we don't want that. we've got to go back one last time to Speaker Moore, who Betsy Wells taught. She was the drama teacher, and we're going to see what he can do for us this year, because he's been very helpful. And I think he's the one that got the 4% in the budget last year, the 4% supplement. Representative Wheatley helped us last year too. She co-sponsored a bill for the 2% COLA in the House. So we made a new friend there. And then Colleen and I went to DC. We've been in touch with AARP. Their lobbyist called us, and he wants us to get involved with some of the AARP issues. So broadband seemed to be one thing that we were both interested in. So we're going to pursue that. So what are my goals? We do need to look at membership. I think we need training. And I tell you, I'm going to take this to the board and I'm going to ask for their opinions, but I just kind of jotted this down as something that may be a guideline. But I think our membership needs training, basically, and how to recruit members. We need to make them work with the local NCAE, so then they'll know when those members are ready to retire, and they can try to snag them and get them signed up for our group. And then also, when I was at DC, and DC had a recent conference, I asked Todd Crenshaw to get us the list of the NEA members who retired in North Carolina, because especially the coast, the mountains, they might even be golfers, they might be in Pinehurst, they might be anywhere. So that would be a good group that we could try to get to join. They're already joining in other pockets around the state. We need to work on our leadership training workshops. And then also there's other ways to recruit people. And we need to have that. I think we have some grants. We can have some meetings, and maybe in some of the rural areas, and try to pick up some extra people. But all these things, I think, is communication with the local presidents, the region directors. We got to update policies. And somebody even said, I think I can do a Facebook page. That's the last thing on our list. So I would appreciate your vote for reelection. Well, not the last thing, but last thing as far as communication. I would appreciate your vote for reelection as your president. I've worked hard for the last 6 years. And I get the job done by working directly with committee members and helping them in any way I can. I take on extra responsibilities, such as a volunteer lobbyist. I have established kind of a team of skilled people to get the job done, from the panorama to the website, but we still need more. And so if you would like to help, we need you to help, because we're only as strong as all the members out there. And we're also working on a membership plan with AARP, where we can get some money to take care of some of this stuff. And let's see. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't need to show this. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you participating, and thank you, LaVeta.
You're welcome. And now we have Tom Simmons.
Thank you, LaVeta. Thanks for this opportunity, and to all the RSP members that are joining us today. I think it's important that members get to hear the candidates when they're making a choice for the leadership, the next leadership of NCRSP. My experience goes way back to 1969, when I first began my teaching career. And I eagerly joined NCAE because I wanted to know more about that organization. I became real active in my school, and after my first convention with the NCAE, I came back and jumped into a leadership role as an AR. And then after that, I decided that I need to take the next step and run for the president of the local. I've served 2 terms as what was then called the district director, and I was honored to be able to serve 2 terms as the state president of the what was then called the administrative division of NCAE. As a member of NCAE, I served on the board and was a finance and personnel committee member. I've served on the NEA resolutions committee and was even elected to the vice chair of the NEA administrative caucus. I'm currently a member on the NCAE RSP board and serve on the admin council for 2 terms. I'm the chair of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, and I want to just say kudos to that committee that worked on these bylaws and constitutional committees amendments, because I think they did a great job. All in all, I think my experience with NCAE and RSP make me well qualified to serve as your next president. Now, I think that the most important task that the next president is to develop a plan to grow our membership. And as president, I want to identify those small rural locals, which, by the way, feel like that they've been left behind, and get the membership chair to travel with me to those locals so we can sit down with them, develop a plan that meets their needs, specific needs, and then I will ensure that they have those locals get the help and the resources they need to increase their membership. One of the other things I think is important for the next president do is build a coalition with the other two large retiree associations, CNAC and NCRGEA. Now, I'm not talking about merging with them. I'm just talking about having a common discussion about those goals that we have all in common, like retirement, pension, COLAs. Together, the three of us sitting down, the three presidents of those associations, sitting down with legislators and saying that we speak for 100,000 voices, I think that will have quite an impact on decisions in the General Assembly. I plan to be a president that wants and needs input from all ESP or RSP members, whether they vote for me or not, because as president, you represent everybody in the association. I feel like I'm the best candidate for this position because I have the leadership skills necessary to bring diverse people together to find solutions for today's problems and the visionary skills to plan for tomorrow's challenges. I ask for your vote, and I look forward to seeing each of you at the convention so we can talk more about my goals and why I want to be president. Thank you so much for everyone listening.
Thank you, Tom. And that brings us to the conclusion of our speeches from our candidates for office. And just as a recap, our candidates for treasurer are Debera Cole-Jones and Gretchen Lampe. For secretary, we have Vivian and Julia. For vice president, we have Lena Murrill-Chapman. And for president, we have Linda Gunter and Tom Simmons. Now you have the very enviable task of trying to decide who you would like to elect for these offices. And it's going to be a difficult task, as you can see by the comments that they have shared with you today. I appreciate the attendance of all of our participants today. I will comment that this is the most highly attended Wednesday workshop we've had to date. So that's real exciting to me to see so many faces. I hope you will come back next month when we will be talking about getting ready for the General Assembly and working on getting that COLA out of the General Assembly. So that will be coming up on April the, can't remember the date offhand, but you'll get a note, and please register for that, spread the word and have other people join in with that. And that will be led by Colleen Lanier. And so I hope to see all of you there. Any last comments or questions anyone has for the chair?
I have a hand raised. I'd just like to mention to everyone that I sent it, for those of you who don't know, I sent out a flyer yesterday. I referenced it during my speech that outlines my extensive educational background and my ability and teaching all over the place, different countries in the States. So that was sent out yesterday by email, and thank you.
Thank you for that comment.
There's a question. There's a question.
Is it in the chat?
I think so. Yeah, I saw it.
Look, I checked it just a minute ago and I'm glad I saw it. Must be something that's added.
It just says, why didn't Debera Cole-Jones show up? That was the question.
I have not received any information. She had indicated she planned to participate. I hope it's not for a reason of being in an accident or anything like that, because she had indicated she did plan to attend today. So I haven't received an email to explain why she's absent today. But certainly our thoughts are with her. I'll check my email real quick just to be sure.
I have one last comment too. I have also emailed a flyer and a PDF that details my background, my education, and what I've accomplished and what I can bring to the table. So if anyone has any questions about it, I've also put in my email address and my telephone number. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any question whatsoever. Thank you and God bless.
And you will have another opportunity if you're attending face-to-face next week at the convention to hear their speeches again in some form or format. And you also have that opportunity to vote electronically next week. So without further ado, I want to thank you one more time for attending.
Excuse me.
Gretchen has a
Who has a question? Gretchen?
I have my hand up. Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to add my 2 cents to the fact that my flyer will be coming. And it will also have my email address and my phone number if you would like to chat. Or we can Zoom together.
The other question that I see in the chat is about the April meeting. It is scheduled for April the 10th at 10 a.m. And again, thank you for attending today. Hope to see you in April, and be safe out there.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
everybody.
Hope to see you next week.
And thanks to Carol and Tara as well.
Good
That's right.
session.
Staff always
Well,
supports us.
Thank you, LaVeta.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.